Russian army is facing a severe shortage of artillery weapons, which gives Ukraine new advantages. Russian guns are firing around 5 times as many shells as Ukraine's are, according to the Economist media outlet. Fighting has intensified in recent weeks. Russia's firepower gives it a clear advantage, but does it have enough guns to keep it up? It is noted that in February Russia had just under 5,000 artillery pieces in the field, according to the Royal United Services Institute. A think tank in London, it produces about 50 artillery gun barrels a year, according to Pavi Luzin of the Center for European Policy Analysis. A think tank ramping up production would be difficult. Gun barrels are made with specialist machinery using high-grade steel. At the outbreak of war, only 2 Russian factories were equipped to make them. 2 countries export gun barrels, and fewer still would sell to Russia. North Korea is a possible source, having already supplied shells, but satellite images suggest that Russia is replacing a large share of the big guns it loses from a stock that is stored in the open air. The Economist says that at the start of the conflict, Russia had around 19,000 artillery pieces in unsheltered yards, but some of those guns have been rusting for decades, making them unusable. Many have been raided for parts of over the past 2 years. Gun barrels have frequently been used to replace those worn out by firing thousands of rounds. A study by one open-source intelligence analyst on X, who goes by Ben on the site, suggests that on that basis that just 2,000 self-propelled guns and 2,400 towed artillery pieces could still be used. Those figures are uncertain. It is hard to estimate how many of Russia's oldest guns, D1 and M30 howitzers, which date back to the Second World War, can still be used, or how much ammunition Russia has for them. But the dwindling supply of artillery and of gun barrels, in particular, is a clear problem. It is hard to estimate the rate at which Ukraine is destroying Russian artillery. Big guns are usually stationed far from the front lines, making them difficult to count. Ukraine's armed forces claim to have destroyed more than 10,000, but the number, which can be visually confirmed, is far lower. Orks and ENT analysis team in the Netherlands, whose estimates are often reasonably consistent with those of state agencies, has images of around 1,000 based on the rate at which equipment is being withdrawn from the open-air stock. The ENT analyst on X suggests that the Ukrainians have destroyed perhaps 5,500 big guns. Russia is expected to run out of barrels in 2025, says one informed analyst, at which point it will need to rely on rocket artillery, which requires far greater supplies of explosive material. In the past year, Ukraine has become much better at destroying Russian artillery. Its detection systems have improved. Counter-battery radar supplied by its allies tracks Russian shells back to their source. A plentiful supply of small kamikaze drones launched up to 20 kilometers from their target can destroy Russian guns. The invaders could protect their artillery by moving it further back from the front lines, or by withdrawing some pieces altogether, but that would hamper their ability to pummel the Ukrainians. For the defenders, that would provide welcome relief.